Hello, guys. Good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Business. Every Wednesday, I am live at 8 PM UAE time to answer any kind of question you may have. So I remind how it works. The first part of the live, I will be answering the questions that I received during the past week that I have selected that I think that are relevant for the live, and then I will let the chat open for any kind of Q&A live. If you have any question, please keep it. And when I will open the chat, I will say to the chat that you can launch your question and I will be able to answer. So do not send your questions before. Send your questions when I will say it. In the meantime, I have selected today 6 questions that are very, very interesting. We received a lot of questions during the week, so this is very good. The show is taking off, and I chose today some questions that are very focused on commercial. Usually we have a real balance between commercial, between marketing, go-to-market. There is plenty of things commercial, but the questions were really relevant. So I will go into the first question that I received. The first question is from Alex. His TikTok name is Dubai Dreamer 97. So his question is regarding how to work around your personal brand. I see you are very active on social media. How important is a founder's personal brand when you are starting with $0? Does it actually help the business or it is just ego? So this is a very good question because I was not focused on building my personal brand, but I decided to focus more on that, especially because in the era of all the informations are available online. You can talk to ChatGPT or any kind of AI, and you can have answer to any kind of question. So now I think the personal branding is very important because in few years, with the AI coming and the avatars and the voice cloning and everything, it will be harder and harder to build your own personal brand. So yes, to answer to the question to Alex, creating your personal brand is very relevant right now because people, if you want to sell something, people needs to trust you in anything you want to sell. If you want to sell goods, if you want to sell your services, if you want to sell anything, people needs to trust you first. So if you want to reach people that don't know you yet personally, they need to be confident and see you regularly on social. By seeing you on social, it's very important because they get confident at seeing you every day, posting, giving your opinion on some topics, and showing your expertise. Because when you show your expertise, people are learning from you, and also, so trust is your first currency, if I can say it like it. This is your first currency, especially when you have no money. When you have no money to put some ads, when you have no money to put anything, the trust that you can build online, this is your currency. And when you want to then monetize the audience, people will invest in you first. So if they believe in you, you will be able to sell them, and they will be open to receive and to have some advice from you because they will trust you. Your personal content will attract customers, partners, and investors organically. What is very interesting right now, as we are seeing on LinkedIn, on TikTok, and other social networks, is that the algorithm is now tracking the relevance of your content. So the more you focus on your expertise, the more you focus on the value that you deliver, the more the algorithm will take your content and put the content in front of your audience. So this is the massive change of the era we saw 10 years ago with Facebook and so on at the beginning. It was you had to pay or you had to have followers to reach people. Now all the contents you create and all your feed is all the information you are seeing, on 80% of the information you are seeing are not coming from the people you follow. They are coming from the people, from the content that you follow. And this is what is very interesting, and very interesting when you do not have money. You focus on the quality and your expertise. And you post regularly. When I say regularly, every day. You post some content, some videos, some posts, some visuals, some articles, some opinion, you comment other posts. And the more you do that and the more you focus on your vertical and your expertise, the more you will be able to reach your audience thanks to the algorithm. So I hope this answered the question. For the question 2, this is from Ecom Hustle UAE. And it's a question regarding the product sourcing and the manufacturing. I have a great product ID, but finding a reliable manufacturer who will take me seriously with a small first order seems nearly impossible. How do you find and vet suppliers when you have no track record or money? I found it a very good question too, because when you want to launch a brand, as I explained in Business and Breakfast, you don't need to create your own recipe. You go, for example, we launched a brand of rum. We had a brand of rum 10 years ago. We decided to go to the best distilleries and choose the best distilleries to take their rum and create our own recipe. So if you want to create a brand, you don't need to invent anything. You need to go to people and professionals that are already producing what you want to market, and you go to them and you introduce your project. So how do you convince them to work with you? This is very interesting. How do you convince them? You have, if you want to convince them, so you have to show them that you think like a partner, because to make a professional believing in your project, you will have to convince him that your project has a long-term vision. A long-term vision. To have a long-term vision, you need to be structured. You need to speak their language, because if you come to a professional to have a white label or to use their recipe for your own brand, you need to talk the same language. So you really need to show that you know the market, you know what you are doing, you know why you are creating your brand, and you know how you will reach what you want to reach. If they see that there is a potential, that there is a real logic, that there is a real commercial structure, marketing structure in your approach, they will believe you. So this is the first thing. You think like a partner, not just a buyer. You show them that you want to build and scale the business with them, not just some random business you want to do. Sell the long term. You also have to start local for prototypes. If you look for suppliers, it's better to go to test 2-3 suppliers. So you ask some sample. In our case, it was the rum. You want to launch a coffee brand, you go to 2-3 coffee maker, coffee producer, and you test and you see what are their price, how do they work with when we want to create a brand with them. So you dig a bit more, but start local for prototype. So you start local, you go to the closest suppliers you can find, you visit them, and you speak to them. Sell your vision, not just the specs of your product. You have to sell the vision, where you want to go. So you will inspire them, so they will trust you. The good suppliers want long-term partners. They don't want short-term partners. So order few samples, you test, and then you validate your product. But to come back on the suppliers, once they agree to work with you, be very careful on the payment terms and not just the price. Because when you start and you do not have much money, this is very important to leverage, meaning if you can have some payment terms, like I pay 30% down payment and then I will pay in 30 days 50% and the rest at 60 days. This is a leverage for you. It's like a credit line. It's like a credit line for you. And so do not hesitate to negotiate some payment terms. Very, very important. And you have to offer value beyond the cash. So you need to show that you are really structured. You need to show that you are ready. You already have all your digital assets. I really, really encourage you to watch Business and Breakfast that we recorded last Saturday. This is on YouTube, because I teach you how to build a brand with $0. So I think Ecom Hustle UAE, that will help you a lot to understand how you can convince your supplier. I really encourage you. I will put the replay of the Business and Breakfast from last Saturday in the chat. That will be very relevant. So I hope that I helped you to answer your question. Another question is content and early marketing. So the username is Creative Spark on TikTok. Everyone is saying create content, but it feels like shouting in the void. What type of content should I actually create at the very beginning to get my first 100 customers, not just likes? And I think this is a very, very interesting question. And as I spoke at the beginning of the live, the algorithm now is capturing and tracking the relevance. And if what you say, what you explain, what you expose is relevant to some audience, they will get your content in front of the audience. You don't need to pay anymore. The more value you will deliver, the more your content will reach your target. This is very important to understand the switch we had from the regular social media to the interest media, meaning this is the algorithm powered by AI that is putting your content into your potential target customer. Because what you have to understand is there is plenty now of platforms. A lot of platforms are in the market. So now the platforms want to be sure that you stay on their platform. And how they do that? They feed your feed with the content that you are interacting or watching more. So you will see if you start to put dogs on Twitter or TikTok, and you will start to like and follow some pages that are talking about dogs. Now your feed will adapt, and you will start to see more and more and more dogs. So to come back on the question, you need to stop selling. Do not sell. You need to solve problem. So you need to put use case. This is exactly what I am doing right now. I am receiving question. Those are problems, and I resolve the problems for the people. So people will interact with my videos, will interact, will share, will comment. And this is how you can start to grow your account by delivering value. Also, another strategy is documenting. You don't need to create fake content. Document what you are doing. Show the behind the scenes of the building of the business. This is something that worked. This is something that I will try to do much more right now. It's you have to document your life as a businessman. So like that, you don't need to create content. You just need to have someone filming you all the time, or you film, you do some live thing like we are doing. So like that, you are creating content. Forget about trying to go viral also. Focus on finding a real base, audience base. This is very important to find your audience base by delivering real value. Do not try to be viral because you saw something trending. Keep on what you are good at, what you want to sell to the people, and hammer it all the time. Try different angles, so like that you can really focus on, you don't know what you don't know. So you don't know if this approach will work or the other approach will work. So just try, but focus on your vertical. Obviously, you have to engage also with your audience. For example, now during the live, there is plenty of people. I say hi in the chat to the people. I say hi to D2S. I say hi to Heba. I say hi to... So I send some hi. So this is very important to interact live with the people, but also interacting on your regular post by answering the comments and so on and so on. So if you think about what you do is like being educational before being a seller is key. So you need to share your expertise for free on social, and then you start to solve problem for the people, and then you will be able to deliver, to give some call to action, to... So I received a question. Now the question after, please, guys. So yes, think about education, engaging with your audience, and then your audience will come to you and you will have possibilities to start to work with your audience. But focus on delivering value first. Very, very important. The next question is building a team without money. I love this question. This is why I really want to talk about it. The username is side bees to main bees. The question is, I am swamped and need help, but I can't afford to hire anyone. How do you build a team when you can only pay in experience or equity? Most of all, how do you trust them? And I really love this question because this is a question that 95% of the founders are facing. This is a problem that 95% of startups are facing. What should I do? I need a team. I do not have any cash. You have to understand the equity, so the capital of your company, is your most expensive currency you have right now if you are serious about what you want to build. This is very important. You have to be very serious about what you want to build. And if you are serious and thinking long term, your equity, you cannot give away equity like this. So you have to protect it. Very important. So first of all, you need to what we call the first believers. You need to understand what you are good at. If you have a good commercial profile, a good technical profile, a good marketing profile, a good financial profile, and then you try to organize the core team, so the pillars of the company. There is two ways to do that. For example, if you are a good financial guy and you need a commercial guy, there is two ways. If you want a commercial guy, you can hire him as an agent, for example. So if he's an agent, you give him commission or what he brings. This is something that is very, 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 very interesting in the commercial, because you don't put any limits to what he can earn, but this is a win-win deal. If he's doing the job, bringing money in, you give back a certain percentage. You can, if it's a really good profile that you want to see, you see a potential to go long term with him, you can start with him with a commission-based role for the sales and triggering some equity release on KPI, meaning like once we reach $100,000 in revenue, you will get 2% of the equity. Once we reach 250,000, you will get 2% more of the equity. So like that, you are sure that you are not giving away your equity for free, while it's very precious. So, and you are sure that you are giving away the equity to someone that is relevant, that is very genuine, a professional. And second, you are sure that you are making the company moving forward at the same time. So this is very, very important. Or what you can go, the basic model also is you give equity against investment. So you have the passive investors and the active investors. Usually the active investors are putting less money or no money, but working for the company for free in exchange of the equity that you will give them in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Or you have the passive investor that is giving you money just to take some share in the capital and just come back in few years and take advantage of the sale when you want to sell the company or make a strategic acquisition or or go public, anything like this. So when it's small, the tasks are small. For example, you need like content creator, you need a copywriter, you need anything that is not a core pillar. You don't need to give away any equity. Find a way to pay them on commission or just with the small cash that you need, that you want. Just find a way. But if you need to consider giving equity, this is only against money for the investors or for the core pillars. For me, the core pillars of a company, this is commercial strategy, marketing strategy, and go-to-market and financial. So if you have a commercial guy, this is a pillar. A marketing guy can be a pillar. Financial guy, so all those marketing is a pillar. Commercial is a pillar. Financial is a pillar. Other things, copywriting, content creator, agent, business provider, business developer, commission based. So this is very, very important to understand that when you give the equity away, this is trust that you are giving to some people. So trust is built in the trenches. Daily check-ins, shared wins, shared losses, because you will lose much more than you will win when you start, and full transparency. So putting the equity based on KPI, I think, is the most relevant in your situation when you start from zero. So I hope side B's to main B's is helping you. Next question. Negotiation and deal making. So the question is from Negotiate King. How do you negotiate with suppliers or partners when you have zero leverage? They have all the power and I am just a small startup. Is there any secret? So we need to reframe now what leverage means for you. It's not always about money or order size. You need to understand that your leverage can be much more your energy, your vision, your network, your ID, your plan to execute. Your leverage can be many, many things. It's not only about money or the order size you will have with your suppliers. If, for example, a supplier is working only with the big chains, if you are in the consumer product, you are doing, I don't know, you are doing coffee brand, and if the supplier, for example, is only selling to the big chains of supermarkets, is probably making really small margins. By working with you, he will be able to make more margin and develop probably more qualitative distribution network. For example, if you are a coffee brand, you want to be very high level, you want to have a very nice packaging, a very nice support, very nice POS, very good team, very good stuff, very good materials, everything that is surrounding the brand is very good. You will probably pull up the quality of the product, and that's interesting in that case for a supplier, because he said that I will be able to sell him at a higher price, and as you will be focused on the brand, that will become your main thing. You will be more agile, so you will be more reactive into the market compared to the biggest brand that are using supermarket channels to sell. So I think it's very interesting to think that way. Your value when you are small and entrepreneur, this is valuable because you can be more flexible, you can move to the market faster, you can take advantage of opportunity faster. So this is what is your leverage in that case. You go to the supplier and you sell them what they don't have. If you know this supplier, for example, if you want to do a supermarket brand, you go to a supplier that is doing niche, because like that you will become complementary to his own business. So this is also something very interesting, to find complementarity in all the people you are interacting with. That can be your suppliers, that can be your partners, that can be your investors, that can be your employees. Complementarity is key in that moment. So if we enter deeper in the leverage number one, I would say this is your vision and the future potential. So you have to sell the long term. The second leverage you can really push is your speed and flexibility. As I said before, your fast track to market. I can go to market. I can launch the brand in 30 days. Again, I really encourage you to go to my replay business and breakfast of Saturday, building a brand with $0. I talk about that. When you are small, your speed and your flexibility is your asset. So this is another leverage for you. And leverage 3 would be the preparation. Show the business plan, show you your vision, show you understand the competition, show you understand the industry. This is very important. And also in your negotiation, when you will start to negotiate with your suppliers to get leverage, there is a golden rule. Do not hesitate to walk away, to say that I am not interested. Because you have to make them understand that there are also other suppliers that are keen to help you. Even if it's not true, you leverage that. You say that there is plenty of competition that want to work with me because I have a great vision. So take advantage. I am here, but you have to give me that price and I go with you. This is the way you negotiate. So to come back, your leverage is not money or your size order. That is your vision, that is your energy, that is the future potential, that is the complementarity that you can provide them to the business, because like that you can add an angle to their business. So this is how you need to approach your leverage. Leverage is not only about money or order size. And last question, knowing when to scale. So this is a topic on scaling the business. The username is growthhacker247. I am getting some initial sales and it's very exciting. My instinct is to pour money into ads and grow as fast as possible. When is the right time to actually scale? And what's the biggest mistake I should avoid? I think this is a very smart question, growth hacker, because when you start to sell online, you will get some excitement because you will receive money. You will start to receive money, and you will be really tempted to go all in. You said that, oh, it's working. Now, I would really encourage, this is what we said, that the biggest mistake would be to scale a leaky bucket. Meaning, it's not because you have orders entering in that the business is ready to scale. You need to look some metrics. The first metric I will tell you to look at is your CAC, your customer acquisition costs, compared to your LTV, the lifetime value of your customer. This is one of the metrics that is one of the most relevant when you are a startup, and what we look at Limitless Capital when we invest or work with a startup, this is the CAC ratio versus the LTV, meaning your customer acquisition cost is the money you pay to get a customers, for example, and the lifetime value is what you can expect to get from a customer as a minimum or average basis. So if you are spending $25 to get a customer and his lifetime value is $100, meaning like when you onboard the customers, you can take him $100 in average, this is a good business because you have a ratio of 4 per 1, meaning you have to spend $25 to get the customers, and you take from the customers $100. The other way around is like you could spend $50 and only get $25 from your customers. This is a bad ratio. All the investors, before scaling, when we say scaling is pouring more money to repeat the business model or the revenue model you applied that is working, scaling is just putting money to repeat at a larger scale. So when I want to come back to scaling a leaky bucket, is like, okay, you can receive order, but how much you spent to get this order? So you need to focus on this metric, your CAC and your LTV. How is your brand growing? Are you receiving the money only from the ads? Do you have some repeating customers? Meaning like if a customer came and came back, this is a very green light when people are coming back. And if you have like, for example, 40% of your revenue generated from recurring customer, this is a very, very good signal. The scalability is not only about investing. Is your business scalable? Meaning, if you put 10 times more money to get 10 times more customer, is your supply chain or customer service ready to attack that? And when you prepare for scenarios, you always need to prepare for the best scenarios and the worst scenarios. But the worst scenarios can become the best and vice versa. For example, for you in your vision, the best scenarios would be to get 10 times more order. Okay, great. But that can become the worst scenarios if you cannot fulfill the orders. So scaling is about understanding your metrics, understanding how it works. Is your CAC good? Is your LTV good? Is your capacity to scale good? Is the relevance of your content is good? Nowadays, to have a relevant content, you need to see how you, before pushing an ad, you need to go organic. You need to post in an organic way. Now you have to do 10 posts and you see what is working the best organically in terms of impact. Because as I said before, the algorithm of the social network right now are capturing the relevance of the content to put that in the face of the potential target consumer. So this is very interesting because now this is a free marketing. So you launch 10, 15, 20 posts with different angles, different way to introduce it, and you see what is working the best. The best working post, organic post, will be your best ads. And then you can start to push the ads. So there is several layers to come back on your question, growth hacker. You have to focus on the organic reach of your ads. Do not drop ads like this. You have to push ads on what is already working organically. Secondly, focus on your CAC and your LTV. What you spend to get a customer and what you can take from the customer. If it's a ratio of 3-for-1, 4-for-1 and more, this is great. 2-for-1 and 1-for-1, meaning like 25-for-25, be very careful. 1-for-1 would be great if when you scale, your supply chain is decreasing. Meaning if you are doing coffee, if you do small orders that is costing you $5 and you take $25 from the customer, and when you will scale the orders, that will reduce the cost structure, your purchase price. This is good. So you have be very careful with your metrics. And if you are not really confident, you can also click with the ChatGPT, work with ChatGPT to see how you can manage your CAC and your LTV. But those metrics are very, very, very important. So those were the 6 questions that I decided to have. So now I will stay in the chat. If you have any kind of question, this is now